Before we begin, we must acknowledge the weight of this case. The murder of JonBenét Ramsey is one of the most infamous unsolved crimes in American history. Decades have passed, but questions still remain. Families have been shattered, reputations have been questioned, and the search for justice continues. This video is based on publicly available evidence, case files, expert opinions, and statements from those involved. As new forensic technologies emerge, so too may new leads. While theories exist, we adhere to the facts. Every individual mentioned is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. A mother's panic. A ransom note demanding $118,000. A 6-year-old girl, missing from her bed. And then, the unthinkable. JonBenét Ramsey was found dead in her own home, just hours after her parents called the police. The evidence? Confounding. The investigation? Flawed from the start. And the DNA found on her body, to this day, remains untested. Was justice ignored? Was a crucial lead overlooked? And did the truth die in that house along with JonBenét? December 26, 1996. The Ramsey family home, sprawling, elegant, seemingly untouched by tragedy. But inside, chaos was unfolding. At 5:52 a.m., Patsy Ramsey dialed 911. Her voice shook as she reported her daughter missing. She had found a ransom note on the stairs, demanding an oddly specific sum of money, $118,000, the exact amount of John Ramsey's work bonus. Police arrived at the home minutes later. They checked the house but made one glaring mistake. They never searched the basement. There, behind a door, John Ramsey found his daughter's body. A garrote wrapped around her neck. Her wrists bound. A piece of duct tape placed over her mouth. The question was no longer where JonBenét was. It was who put her there, and why. The investigation should have been straightforward. A forced entry. A ransom demand. A child abducted and killed in the same home. Yet, nothing was as it seemed. The ransom note was lengthy, 3 pages long. Experts believed it was written inside the house. The broken basement window? John Ramsey admitted to breaking it months earlier. But was it really an old break, or had someone crawled through that night? Then there was the DNA. Under JonBenét's fingernails. In her underwear. It belonged to an unknown male. And yet, it was never matched to anyone in the Ramsey household. Still, the police set their sights on the parents. Investigators theorized that this was a cover-up, a tragic accident disguised as a kidnapping. But if that were true, then how do you explain the DNA? And why did police refuse to test all the available evidence? In 2008, a breakthrough. Forensic testing revealed that the DNA on JonBenét's clothing did not belong to anyone in her family. The Boulder District Attorney issued an apology to John and Patsy Ramsey, officially clearing them of any involvement. But the damage was already done. Years of scrutiny, media trials, and relentless accusations had buried any real chance of finding the truth. In recent years, advances in DNA technology have cracked cold cases decades old. So why hasn't the evidence in JonBenét's case been fully analyzed? And why does it seem like someone, perhaps the very people responsible for finding justice, don't want it to be? The tragic case of JonBenét Ramsey's murder has been marked by a complex array of evidence, some of which has undergone DNA analysis, while other items remain untested. Below is a detailed overview. Evidence collected at the crime scene. 1. Ransom note, a handwritten, 2.5-page note demanding $118,000 was discovered by Patsy Ramsey on a staircase. The amount closely matched John Ramsey's previous work bonus, suggesting potential familiarity by the author with the family's finances. 2. Garrote, JonBenét was found with a garrote fashioned from a nylon cord and a broken paintbrush handle around her neck. Part of the paintbrush was located among Patsy Ramsey's art supplies, however, the remaining segment was never recovered. 3. Duct tape. A piece of duct tape was placed over JonBenet's mouth. 4. Pineapple bowl. A bowl containing pineapple was found on the kitchen table, with Patsy Ramsey's fingerprints on it. Autopsy results indicated JonBenet had consumed pineapple shortly before her death, though her parents did not recall providing it to her. 5. Flashlight. A heavy flashlight was discovered in the home, which some investigators have speculated could be the murder weapon causing the skull fracture. 6. Unknown boot print. A boot print, not matching any family member's footwear, was found near the body. 7. Broken window. A broken basement window was noted, which John Ramsey stated he had broken previously. DNA analysis. Tested samples. Underwear. In 2003, DNA extracted from a mixed blood sample on JonBenet's underwear was found to belong to an unidentified male, excluding all Ramsey family members. Additional samples. Further analysis revealed unidentified male DNA on other items, including the cord and paintbrush used in the crime. Untested items. Garrote and paintbrush. While the garrote and part of the paintbrush were recovered, it's unclear if all components underwent comprehensive DNA testing. Flashlight. The flashlight found at the scene has not been conclusively reported as tested for DNA evidence. Duct tape. There is no definitive public information regarding DNA analysis on the duct tape. Pineapple bowl and spoon. Beyond fingerprint analysis, it's not specified whether these items were tested for DNA. Police response to DNA testing. John Ramsey has expressed concerns about the handling of evidence, suggesting that the police might have lost crucial items, which could explain delays or refusals in conducting DNA tests. He has sought permission for independent labs to analyze the evidence, aiming to utilize advanced genetic genealogy techniques to identify the perpetrator. The Boulder Police Department has maintained control over the evidence and has been cautious about permitting external testing. They have processed over 1,500 pieces of evidence and analyzed more than 200 DNA samples. However, the reluctance to allow independent analysis has been a point of contention between the authorities and the Ramsey family. The ongoing debate over evidence testing underscores the complexities and challenges in resolving this decades-old case. John Ramsey has expressed his own doubts. In a recent interview, he suggested a chilling possibility, one that could explain why the DNA evidence remains untouched. "I hope I'm wrong about this, but I sometimes wonder if the police lost the evidence. And that's why they won't test it. If true, this would be one of the most devastating failures in forensic history." John Ramsey, now in his 80s, is still fighting for answers. He believes the case can be solved, if only the remaining DNA is tested with modern forensic tools. But here's the question: if the killer was never inside that house, why does the evidence suggest otherwise? If the police had focused beyond the Ramsey family from the start, could we have already found the person responsible? JonBenét Ramsey was 6 years old. She had dreams. A life ahead of her. And somewhere out there, someone knows what happened to her that night. The only question left is, who? The Boulder Police Department has consistently maintained that they are committed to solving the JonBenét Ramsey case and have denied allegations of withholding evidence or neglecting DNA testing. Official statements and actions. Commitment to the case. In a statement, Police Chief Steve Redfern emphasized the department's dedication. "We are committed to following up on every lead and we are continuing to work with DNA experts and our law enforcement partners around the country until this tragic case is solved." Denial of withholding evidence. The department has refuted claims that they are not pursuing viable leads or DNA testing, stating, "The assertion that there is viable evidence and leads we are not pursuing, to include DNA testing, is completely false." Collaboration with experts. In December 2023, the Boulder Police convened a cold case review panel, collaborating with DNA experts and law enforcement agencies to review the case comprehensively. Family's perspective. Advocacy for independent testing. John Ramsey, JonBenet's father, has been vocal about his desire for external DNA analysis. He has scheduled a meeting with the Boulder police chief and a representative from an independent genetic genealogy research lab to advocate for additional testing. While the police assert their ongoing commitment to resolving the case, the Ramsey family continues to push for independent testing, highlighting differing views on the investigative approach. What do you think? Should law enforcement retest the DNA? Could the killer have been right under their noses all along? Or is there something deeper at play? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe JonBenet's case still deserves answers, share this video. Thank you for watching. Stay informed. Stay aware. And never stop asking questions.